In this video, I'm gonna go over something that everybody seems to enjoy about me a lot. That's, I guess, it's one of the better meals that people eat. And I've done this several. I mean, I must be on my 100th time. Um, what I call kitchen sink soups, or leftover fridge soups, or whatever. And I've done this several times, like I said. But I'll go over two main basic recipes. I mean, the recipe is make it your own with leftovers. So everything is on the recipe list. Everything from rice to pasta, whatever. But the main base is what I use. So there's always one requirement for my leftover chicken noodle soup or chicken rice soup. There's always one big requirement for it: leftover chicken on the bone with a little bit of skin. And it can be the oldest, driest, as long as there's plenty of it and it's not expired. It still has to be edible. But it can be dried where people go, that's too chewy. There's no way you could eat that, Zach. Those chicken wings are 2, 3 days old, and they're all too dried. I tried one. Even if you microwave it or throw it in the toaster oven, it's gonna be like frickin' eating leather or something, Zach. You can't eat that. And I was like, really? I can't. How about you? Are you gonna eat it? I just told you, Zach. It's no good. Oh, well, I don't. Well, you tell me that after I'm done, okay? If it's no good, I don't want to touch it either. I don't want to. I'm always worried. But you just bought that yesterday, right? Yeah, I bought it yesterday, but it's been in the fridge, open, the whole chicken, and now the skin looks dried out, and the white meat looks very dried, and it just doesn't look exactly like I would just slice it and eat it, Zach. Oh, because the skin has got tight around each chicken wing, right? Yeah, it's just not moist anymore. Okay, I understand. So I can have them then. Yeah, it's been, I got that yesterday for lunch, and now it's today, and I just don't like that in the fridge. Okay, perfect. We got 10 leftover chicken wings and a half of a chicken from the night before. I can have these, right? Yes, you can have them, Zach. Okay, where's my big ass steel pot? Here we are. Ching. Okay, I got the jug of water. I wish we could take the fluoride out of this water. Yeah, you're always talking about that fluoride, Zach. Okay, good. Now we're gonna put this on high and then bring it down to about a 1 or 2 for about 2, 3 hours. Oh, so we're just gonna leave that on from morning to night? Well, from 10 to, I'll tell you what, we actually a little late, so let's call it 10:30, and we'll be done by 3:30, 4:30 at the earliest. Oh, so for supper time? Yeah. And you're not gonna boil it over. Oh no, we're gonna bring this to low. I just gotta get it high to a high warm heat, and then we'll cut it back down. Oh, okay. What are you putting in there? All this chicken. Okay. Oh, so you're just throwing in all my chicken in a pot with some water, Zach. Well, do you have any bouillon or any of those? One of my favorites, Market Basket, the little chicken soup. I thought you were making it from scratch. I am. But if you got the starter, I can cut the cook time in half. You can? Yeah, I just need the chicken noodle starter, and then, yep, I can cut it in half. I'll cook it for about an hour. I'll add the starter, cook it for another hour, pull the bones out, pull the skin out, boom, we're done. No, I don't. Okay. Then I got to go at least 5 hours to pull the chicken flavor into the water completely. And I got to add a little more salt then. Okay, what leftover vegetables? I don't know. Rummage through the cans. Okay, we got some green beans, some carrots. Oh, we'll take out the carrots. Okay, we got some pasta over here. Doesn't matter. Just grab any pasta. Here's some spaghetti. Let's break those in the little sections. Crush. Okay, we add those in at the end when the water seems to our liking and tastes like chicken soup. Okay, carrots can go in at the end too because they've been in the can and they've been soaking. If they're fresh carrots, throw them in and let them boil for about 2 hours as well. They'll get super soft and yummy. Okay, now we can throw in some spices, celery, garlic, whatever seasoning you like, kitchen soup cooking, throw it all in. Then you just take the bones out by just taking one of those spaghetti utensils. You know those spaghetti utensils? Ever seen a spaghetti spoon? You just stick that in there, pull out the bones, and mash it also. You want to mash it, mash it, mash the bones, mash the skin, and the chicken meat will fall off within 2 hours. It won't be able to stick to the bones. Everything will slide off of the bones. The skin will float to the top. You can pull whatever was left of the skin off the top. Now, the chicken fat that was in the skin has already boiled into there. You'll see a clear, shiny layer. That's the chicken skin fat. You want to get all that floating on the top until you can see a reflection in it. Pull the skin out, pull the bones out. You got all that white meat, all the dark meat floating at the bottom. You got all the chicken fat at the top. You got all the flavor inside the water. You got, now it's time for the carrots. It's time for the celery. It's time for your potatoes, whatever. Your pasta, your rice, whatever can go in at this point. Cook for 30 minutes to an hour and serve. Done. And I've done this many times for people with their leftovers. I've done it with like leftover chicken wings after a game or something. They'll have like a football party. I'll come over the day later and there'll be chicken wings everywhere. You know, my buddy will be kind of hungry because he just spent his food budget for the week on a bunch of a party. And he'll be like, man, I'm going to starve. I'm going to be eating ramen all week. What? No, you don't got to eat ramen all week, man. You got some canned carrots. You said you got ramen. And look at all this leftover chicken. So what? What am I going to do with all that? What are you going to do with it? You're going to have enough soup to eat all week. Good soup. Carrot and real chicken in that soup. Not a fucking ramen. How am I going to do that? You got enough, you got $5 for 5 jars? Yeah. Make your damn soup and throw it in a jar. Heat up that jar and you're good, man, for 7 days. No problem. And you got your good, delicious soup. It just gets better every time you cook it. I can do that? Yes, you can do that. I didn't know that, Zach. I didn't know you could just take leftover chicken, throw it in a pot with the bones and all, and keep on mashing it long enough with a spoon, and eventually the meat just falls off the bone. You can take the bone and skin out, throw some ramen powder in there, crush up a little pasta, throw in some carrots, and you got a great chicken noodle soup. Yeah, I usually do rice. I prefer white rice in my soup. You can do rice too? Yeah, I got a bunch of rice in my cabinet. They're always giving me bags of rice. Yeah, isn't America great? There's white rice, there's brown rice, there's pasta floating around the country like it doesn't even matter. Meanwhile, in other countries, women have sex with strangers just for a little bit of rice to feed their kids. Yeah, and then we're like, white rice? Ew. No, don't you have anything better? I take the rice and the pasta every time. If the pasta's expired, no. If the rice is expired, depending on it, most of the time, yes. I mean, if I have an apartment, if I don't have an apartment, I'll even bury the stuff and come back for it later. I mean, rice was once a currency, and so is salt. So salt and rice, I'll always accept. But anyways, yeah, soups are pretty easy as long as you got left. The hardest part of a soup is some scrawny old chicken. That's it. Chicken that's still edible, but it doesn't have to be like in prime condition. That's the great part about soup. You want the skin. You even if it's dried to the chicken, you want the meat and you want the skin. A lot of this chicken wing business, that's a lot of skin, and yes, there's a lot of bone. But when you're making a broth, a lot of bone is also a good thing. And I've seen time after time people get a whole chicken or they get a bunch of chicken wings, and the next day they don't know what to do with all this scrap meat and all this skin that they don't want the next day. They're like, it looks ugly now. Look at all that meat. I would have to pick it off with a pair of tweezers. What do you want to do with that? Oh, throw it away, honey. No, make a soup. If you're going to have chicken one day, have the soup the next. I mean, it's your food. Eat it. That's it. It's your chicken. Eat it. When I buy a chicken, I eat the whole chicken. I don't eat half the chicken and then throw the other half in the trash because I'm lazy and I don't want to take the meat off because I don't have a pot and water. I mean, for generations, I doubt any families were letting that go to waste. They were boiling that after every meal. You cut into a chicken, you better believe they had soup the next day. But I don't know what it is about the generation that was born in about the 1935, 1945, 1955, 1965, all the way up to my generation. Just they don't think about the larger picture about that is your food. You bought yourself a chicken. You bought your family a chicken. Okay. So the first day you cut it up, you ate some of it. There's a lot of chicken left, but it's hard to get to. So you throw it in a pot and you make a soup. So what? There's a million different recipes and soup is the easiest. But yet you decide, no, that's 2 hours at the least of cooking. 2 hours? You're just throwing it in a pot of water, leaving it on simmer for 2 hours. It's not hard. You can work in your garage if you like on your damn car. You can woodwork. You can watch TV. It's not hard to let something simmer for a couple hours. The hard part is caring about not wasting.